Hey everyone, this is Norm Farrar, aka the Beard Guy here, and welcome. Cigar, too many cigars, and welcome to another Lunch with Norm, the Amazon FBA and e-commerce podcast.
Lunch with Norm. Lunch with Norm. Lunch with
I think I have to apologize to Kelsey and our guest today because I think I just coughed in their ear. I apologize. Anyways, today, another great topic. We're going to be talking about video and the types of video that you can use, what's working on Amazon, what's not working on Amazon. And we have a really great guest. He's a returning guest. He is the CEO of Video Telepathy. He's had over 20 years experience in copywriting and online marketing. And it's kind of funny. I bought one of my companies from him. So it was such a really cool video company. And this is, I'm talking about PR Reach. It was the first video press release company. So I was a subscriber, and then we met by accident and I bought the company from him. So anyways, he's doing just incredible things. His name is Rob Burns, and we'll be getting him to in a second. Anyways, before I get Kelsey on, I just wanted to give a big thank you to our sponsor, Global Wired Advisors, a leading digital investment bank focused on optimizing the business sales process. For more information, please visit globalwiredadvisors.com. All right, now hopefully I can talk. Kelsey, where are you?
How many cigars did you smoke this weekend?
I had a few. Cigars, but I didn't think I was gonna, cough up a lung at the intro. All right, so let's get past it. And it used to be I'd be in the fetal position, but I'm okay. I can cough now.
Yeah,
I'll just try to hit the mute. I'm gonna try to hit the mute button. All right, so what do you got to say?
Okay, first of all, welcome everyone. We got a bunch of people already in here. Manny, Victor, Mark, Marcia, and I believe that's we have Faye and Andrew and Tony. So welcome everyone. Hope everyone's having a fantastic Monday. If you haven't yet, please smash those like buttons. Also join our Facebook group, Lunch with Norm, Amazon FBA, and e-commerce collective. That's where all the good stuff is. Highly recommend. If you want to engage with the community, join our Beard Nation. That's where to go. Also, our YouTube channel is up and going. We're almost at 1,000 subscribers, so it'd be really awesome if you could head over there and hit that subscribe button and ring that bell. So that's where all the daily highlights and full episodes are. So if you ever miss an episode, you can go over there. And last thing is our Patreon. This is our monthly subscription service. Head on over there. I'll put the link in the comment section if you're looking for extra content. We are giving out free services, like small group, personal AMAs, guest lessons, bunch of good stuff there. So definitely check it out. And we have one of our hot seats tomorrow. So we have a group of about 4 in our platinum group. So we're going to be doing a little hot seat with them. So that's going to be fun. But welcome everybody.
All right. So before we get started, if you have any questions, throw them over to the right hand or into the comments section. And now sit back, grab a cup of coffee. I'm going to try not to cough. Enjoy the show. Mr. Burns.
Hey, what's going on?
How are you, sir?
Doing great. Or stellar. That's my favorite word. That's
stellar?
The word of the day.
Oh, very
stellar.
Good. Hey, before we get started, for those of us who don't know Robert Burns, could you tell us a little bit about you and your company?
Yeah, so we have Video Telepathy, and primarily I would say 80-90% of the video work that we do are for Amazon or e-commerce brands, and then we do a lot of ads for agencies and all that fun kind of stuff. And then the second half of our business, we do kind of inspirational mini documentaries that are tied to bigger brands, and that's kind of a fun thing that we're moving into. So
cool.
It's like inspirational stories about people that are in that kind of that same demographic of the brands, and then we connect the brands to the story so that makes the brands look good, and also it does good stuff in the world.
So is that on top of kind of building a brand story?
Yeah. So there's their brand story, and that's kind of like, maybe the origin story and how things came to be and what they stand for. And these are actually sometimes, they're people that aren't really, part of that brand, but they may relate to it. So maybe it's a cosmetics company, and so then there's like a whole series of inspirational stories about girls and body image, or something like that. So, and really, it's kind of our way. It's a concept we kind of came up where, instead of the kind of the traditional where we're just trying to get people to buy stuff, is we're trying to get people to connect with the actual brand and say this brand stands for this. And usually it's for, kind of medium-sized brands on up. And I think a lot of millennials and on down, I'd say anybody that's probably 30 years or younger, that they really who they buy from, they do a lot of research, and they look at what does that company stand for, and so this is kind of a good way to make that connection, let people know what they stand for, and also that they're that they support good things and different things like that. So it's kind of cool. So.
Yeah, that's we talk about that a lot. When people are on Amazon, it doesn't mean that they're going to stay on Amazon. If you're a micro brand, they're probably going to check you out because they don't trust you.
Yeah.
So being able to get that video either onto your listing or off of your listing and promote it or put it onto your website, because they're going to check it out. And if you can show what you're all about, and even if it might be brand story, it might be, the origins of the company, but the culture of the company, that goes a long way. That goes a long way in building trust.
Absolutely. I mean, the three, like any video, really, any video, any ad, any piece of content, where you're trying to, you have a product, is, you want people to know, like, and trust you, like, no matter what you do, like, yeah, you have to do that. And so it's a good way to do, kind of chip away, at that trust factor, and just saying, hey, I'm like you, I always go off on those tangents about, kind of our tribal brain that's still embedded in us. And that was the thing, is we told stories, and, people would sit around a campfire with their caveman clubs, and, and say, well, hey, don't go over there because there's a saber-toothed tiger or whatever. And so people still have that really kind of embedded in their psyche. So they want to know that, the similarities between, the people they're talking to, and also that, just that they're in alignment, that they're trustworthy, and that, so that's a good way to do that. So.
All right. Before we get into the questions, you have a giveaway today.
Yeah. So if you go to videotelepathy.com/lunch with Norm, then we're going to give away, actually, you can sign up to apply to, we're going to give away a free product demonstration video, which is like a $5.97 value. So we're gonna raffle off one of those, and then also anybody that's on the podcast, we're going to create a coupon code to lunch with Norm. Just use that coupon code, and then you'll get 10% off any purchase you guys
Very
do.
good. So we do have, like, when we're doing the giveaway, it's we've got to have the Wheel of Kelsey. So for the product video, if you're interested in the product video, which is incredible, we've done a lot of work with Rob for product videos for our clients. Does a great job. This is about a $600 value, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah. So type in hashtag Wheel of Kelsey. Also, you can always check out Rob's website over at Video Telepathy. He's got some really great examples of what we're going to be talking about today, and also that 10% discount. So also, Kelsey, we have something from Marsha Reese, don't we?
That's right. We have this hashtag. What did we come up with? Hashtag I want to stay well. Hashtag I want to stay well. That's from Marsha Reese from Stay Well Copper. So we are giving away one of her copper backplates. I use one for my phone, as you can see here. But yeah, it helps kill bacteria and any germs, and it keeps you safe and healthy. So that's available for anyone that is in America or Canada, North America only. So yeah, I think that's it.
Okay, very good. Now, Rob, let's get into video. So last time you were on, we were talking about video, what was working, what wasn't working. What's working on Amazon right now, or e-com?
Yeah, I would say, and we touched on it a little bit last time too, but I'd say even more so now, it is really almost shorter, more condensed formats.
Shorter, how long?
On Amazon, I'd say 30 to 45 seconds at the most for, say, like a demo video.
Mm-hmm.
Some of their micro ads that they have, you can go like 15 seconds. Somewhere, for the ads, anywhere from 15 to 45 seconds for the actual like a product video, I'd say 30 to 45 seconds. I think with Amazon, they really are super anti-direct responsey. Like they don't like anything hypey or salesy, or if you have kind of like a pitchman video or something like that, then that'll almost like 99% get rejected. And what they do like are like we were talking about the product demonstration video. That's the one that we're giving away, where it shows the product being used, where it's kind of putting that product in the user's mind's eye, and then we support that with like dynamic and animated text, and then music, and then and then actually kind of the quality of the video. It really does matter now. I mean, 3 or 4 years ago, like any video was just amazing because people just didn't really realize that they could start using video to sell. They just thought bandwidth issues and platform issues and things like that. And now there's so much competition too that people are getting a lot more picky as far as what they see. I mean, still, and there's always kind of that play between direct response and creativity kind of thing. But really, if you can kind of match the two of those together, then those are the ones that are really doing really super well, where it's super good quality, but it's also selling the product.
Yeah, it's funny how things have gone, because even back in January, I was saying, look, just go out there, go to Animoto, throw in a couple of slides. I mean, it's better than nothing. But what I've been seeing, and if you guys, if any of the listeners have been seeing this too, let me know. But I've been searching Amazon, and all of a sudden you're seeing a much higher quality product video that's coming out, and they're not by big brands. These are the smaller private label sellers that are putting together properly, like the product lighting. Everything is just like quite nice.
Yeah, well, and you think about it too, because people make that connection between the way you portray yourself and the actual quality of your product. So if you have some kind of jinky video that's just kind of mashed together, then they're going to think, well, how much thought do they put into actually creating the product that they're selling, and what's the quality of the product. And so people do associate those two things together, and there are instances where, say, doing like cell phone video stuff where maybe it's testimonials where it's actually better, if you're getting just a live testimonial from somebody, where it's actually better just to have kind of that organic, granular looking type video, because it's more real. That's what people want. They want reality. They don't want to think they're being duped in any way. So for us, we just focus on portraying the product in the best light. No pun intended, because there's lighting involved. But portray the product in the best light, and let the product really speak for itself. And so we just figure out what are the best qualities of the product, and then try to shoot around that. So.
Yeah, I like the comment that Victor made. Production values have increased dramatically. And so now that more and more people are using video on Amazon, now you're starting to see a separation between the really poor quality videos and people that, if you go and you check out the listings behind these poor quality videos, you kind of see the same thing. It's a poor, I can't say that 100% of the time, but from what I've seen, if it's a poor quality video, it's usually a poor quality listing. which just means less conversions. You might be converting better on your video, but if you did it properly and if you spent more time optimizing your listing, you'll probably get a much higher conversion rate. Have you seen with higher quality videos better conversion rates?
Yeah, absolutely. And it's hard to get numbers from Amazon and ecom folks because everybody holds their cards real tight. But it's funny too. I think last time we were talking about it too, where like sometimes I'll do calls, a consultation. I'm like, so what's your product? And they're like, well, why do you want to know? I'm like, well, because I can't shoot videos unless I know what your product is. So, but almost everybody will reach back out and just ask them, and then we get feedback, and then we kind of adjust our sales as far as the way we shoot things because of that. But definitely quality has made the difference, and really it's almost the way you shoot it too. Like you can shoot pretty good quality stuff with even cell phones now. I mean, it's not really the equipment. I mean, we're shooting like 4K or 6K actually cinematic cameras, but it's not necessarily the equipment sometimes that really kind of set it creates a quality, and it's the way you shoot it and the way you portray the product, and there's a lot of thought behind just doing that kind of stuff. And I think too, kind of equating we were talking about how it used to be just kind of nobody was doing videos, so any video was great, and it's almost like Vegas in a way. Like if you look at Vegas in the 40s or the 50s, I mean, you're driving through the desert and you see this giant billboard that says Sahara, and you're like, oh wow, wow. And you just drive and you go check it out, and it's like, oh, okay, it's a casino. And then next thing you know, there's another casino, and then you drive down the drive in Vegas, and there's just like a million giant billboards bouncing, and now there's like football size, like 4K images, on the sides of buildings that, so it just like people just keep raising the bar, and that's kind of what's happening with video too. So
I guess the other thing too is when somebody comes over to you, and I'm talking about just if they're getting it produced for themselves, do you find that a lot of people provide the script?
Yeah.
Do you recommend that?
Yeah. Well, I think it really depends, because we kind of work, just kind of across a broad spectrum where, with people that are just starting out with their first product, all the way to, bigger brands and then other agencies. And so some of the bigger brands and other agencies, they understand copywriting, and we actually, and for the people that don't, we actually have templates that kind of guide them through. And then for product demonstration videos, you don't even actually need a script, because it's just, we'll just get the benefit points of, what, kind of benefit points and maybe a couple pain points that it solves. And then, that's just put into text. So it makes it a lot easier. So it still converts really super well, because you're focusing on the things that, your USP for your product, but you don't have to, focus on any kind of direct response copywriting or any kind of, ninja NLP stuff. And then we do, especially a lot of the bigger projects, we'll write the scripts and the copies for like commercials and things like that. And then even some of this, the smaller stuff too, we have script writers if people need to have that done. So.
Yeah, I kind of look at script writing like Google Translate. You can go and do it yourself or do it for free, but beware.
Yeah.
And if you get a professional copywriter, it does make a night and day. And I've seen this with press releases too. People try to write their own press releases and they suck. So I know the service is very inexpensive, but if you go even to just a quality writer, spend $100 or a couple $100, get a proper script done. They know they know how to set it up. They know the beginning, the body, and the end. How to set it up. It's a field. It's a specialized formula. So that's one thing I wouldn't cheap out on, is to make sure that unless you're doing it like the last couple of videos that you did for me, you were just using my bullet points. Just here's the benefit, here's another benefit, here's another benefit, hasta la vista.
Yeah, and then showing the product being used, and
Yeah.
kind of, you just want to put it in the user's mind's eye. That's the whole thing we think about. It's like, them imagining, trying to make them imagine them, using using it themselves, kind of deal. So that's the way. So how did that for you? How did that work out conversion wise, as far as like having one where it's like a spokesperson, kind of a talking head type thing, versus just doing the benefit points and showing the product being used?
I think
Now I'm interviewing you. So
yeah, no, I think the bullet points are fine. In certain areas, you need that talking head. If it's a 30-second or 15-second video at the beginning or on your listing, I absolutely think that a bullet point is fine. And I don't know if people want to sit there and listen to somebody for 4 minutes. Not on your product listing.
Yeah.
Short, to the point. Just like the bullets or just like the images. A lot of people write a book on their images. Nobody wants to read that. They want to read short, an image with either a very short 1 or 2 words or no words and just a visual. Same thing with the video. A video is visual. Let it carry itself. You don't need a lot, especially on Amazon, for that particular area in your slide deck.
Yeah, I think people sometimes think you need more than you really do, and sometimes actually more isn't better. And sometimes
Absolutely.
it's really kind of because you just want to you're there for a limited amount of time, and they have a limited attention span. So you just really kind of want to refine everything down to those main points that are going to make them purchase. And that's something too. Like if you can look at your video or your ad. So say if it's, if it's maybe an e-com one, where do people drop off? Where do they click to buy, on that point in the video? Because those are the benefit points that people are using to purchase, so if you have 5 or 6 benefit points in a video and 60% of the people are, clicking to buy on benefit point, number 3, in the video, then that's something you need to focus on and expand. Whereas maybe they're dropping off on benefit point number 2, so maybe you need to just get rid of that, or something like that, or you need to do something that's more engaging to keep their interest. So we try to probably every 5 seconds or so make a transition, because that's about people's attention spans now is like every 5 seconds. So every 5 seconds, change an angle, move, or do some kind of a new benefit point or something, just so that it just keeps your brain engaged. And actually, we've been experimenting speeding up the videos so that they run maybe 20-30% faster, and people actually comprehend better. It sounds a little weird, but actually we've seen a little bit of a conversion bump on doing things like that, which is kind of weird, and it's just kind of experimental stuff we're doing. But it's just kind of like if you're listening to a podcast or a book on tape, then I'll usually bump it up 30%, because you actually understand when people are talking faster than when they're talking slower. So.
Do you experiment with call to action as well? Like is it just at the end, or do you play around with it within that?
Yeah, and that's another thing too. With Amazon, you need to be really careful on your CTAs, just because if it's like buy now and get a discount, or any kind of scarcity or anything like that. So with Amazon, you have to be pretty pedestrian on your call to action, yes. And then if you're running a Shopify site or running an ad outside of Amazon, you can be a little bit aggressive. But you can do that too, where you just put different CTAs at the end of the video and then see which one converts better. That's super easy to do. So
you've got your Amazon store, you've got advertising, you've got your slide deck, you've got related videos, which there's a few tricks there that we could play around with.
Amazon Live.
Let's talk about some of those other videos. And why don't we start off with Amazon Live? Have you seen an increase in that?
We've seen an increase in requests. Like we actually have a part of our studio is like a live stream studio. And so we've seen a lot of people request it, but I think people are they're just kind of wrapping their head around, kind of how does that work, and what's, how do we leverage that ecosystem? I think it's really kind of Amazon's effort at you can be much more direct response related in the Amazon Lives, and you can actually do video replays. So you can actually like maybe have somebody live and say, and let me show you a video about our product or something like that, and then you could actually play like a pre-produced video on there. But I think it's really kind of Amazon's attempt to kind of go after QVC and all of those kind of home shopping type networks, where it's really similar in that same format. But you see a broad spectrum. You see bigger brands where they're on stages with shows and doing stuff, and then you also see just kind of mom and pops where they're just shooting with their cell phone, and frankly, I think a lot of the mom and pops are actually doing really well too. So
yeah, in that circumstance, I think by just shooting it and having it more of that candid look is probably much better than a polished set.
Yeah. Just because too, again, you're making that personal connection. So it's really not about the quality of the video. It's about the person, that's presenting and the product and being relatable. So that really makes a big difference, as opposed to just having, something kind of bright, shiny and, having Ryan Seacrest, MC your product or whatever. But I think the bigger brands, people expect that. So it's better for, say, I'd say probably starting out maybe 10 million a year above, doing the big productions are probably more advantageous. And I'd say below that, you're going to have a better ROI, as far as just spending your money on it, just spend money on the ad spend and then, make it natural and granular. So,
one of the things I forgot to mention on the product video side for your Amazon listing, if you've got a bullet and it's just a stock photo with somebody, placing your product photography over top of it, and let's say it might be a soap bar and it's 5 times bigger than the person's hand, I mean, people know that that's fake. People don't like that. I'm just guessing, people don't like that. They'd much rather see a model. If you're taking that same image and you're putting it into an Animoto video and making it yourself, just because it's on video doesn't make people accept it anymore. They really want to see a real person or a real influencer or something with social proof, rather than, this person having this 5 times the size soap in their hand and they know it's fake, So what I'm trying to say is that, look, if you can get a model for a few $100, put the model in there and just spend the extra so it looks real. Or if you have an influencer that you can get to provide video and you can kind of work it in, that works better than stock video.
Yeah. In the beginning, we used quite a bit of stock footage, and just testing things out and getting feedback from the clients. We evolved more into, and I think it's just because the audience has changed, and as far as what, just being picky on what they view. And so now we shoot, probably instead of just using stock footage, we'll just shoot our own, original stuff and work it in there for B-roll. And so that seems to work quite a bit better. There's still some instances where stock footage works pretty well, but I would say in general, as much of your own original footage as you can use, then that's better for sure.
What about
especially don't use like the corporate conference room pictures or
yeah
those are like horrible.
Yeah, I know with soap it's the same lady in the bath, I can picture her right now from Pixabay. Go and get it. I mean, it's crazy. All right, what about video ads? You doing a lot of that?
Yeah, video ads. And a lot of stuff we're doing is we're actually taking just content from the actual main video, and then we'll slice it up and reformat it for whatever platform. And those are good because, say, like on a product demonstration video, you have like 5 or 6 benefit points, or a market review video. So that's kind of like a higher end testimonial video where we're actually go out on the street and we'll give somebody a product, and then we'll ask them these questions, and it looks like a statement, and then so it's kind of like a taste test thing, or if it's like a supplement, we'll give them products and then come back and ask them how however long that product is supposed to take to work. We'll come back like in a couple of weeks or month or whatever and ask them. And for both of the, I actually forgot your question. I just went off on a tangent. What was your original question?
I'm not going to. I'm just going to make you go in the fetal position for a few minutes.
Well, California dispensaries have been legal for a while, so it may or may not have some effect on me. I mean, not that I would go there. But.
Yeah, I was talking about Amazon ads and what you're finding effective right now.
Yeah, and so for those kind of products, because you have those benefits, so you have those kind of benefit points, so you can actually take those individual benefit points and then slice those up and make that into micro content or like promoted social content or actually micro ads. So like an Amazon, like those little short 15-second ads. So it could be just one benefit point out of your video, and then you use that, and it could, like I said, that can be anywhere from 15 to 30 seconds, and so those work really well. So anything we do, we call them fishing lure ads, where it's basically maybe the first 5 seconds is just something that's really eye-catching. Maybe it's something that's just kind of a pattern interrupt that just doesn't register in your brain, and just people doing something odd or something, and really all that's designed to do is just take you away from that clutter that all the other millions of ads that you're looking at, on your social platform or wherever you're viewing the ad or on Amazon, and directs your attention to there, and then it goes into the different things that are the benefits of the product. And so they're like, oh, it gets their attention. They're like, oh yeah, I need one of those, and then they click to find out more. Kind of deal.
Right.
Those work really well. So
the other tip that I can give, and this is just it's a small little hack that we do, is that we'll create a video. It might be it might end up being a minute or two worth of content, but we cut it up, we create a thumbnail, and then under related videos we'll have a whole series of usually targeting the benefits or how to use this product. Mm-hmm. And it'll be, when you upload them, it'll be the series, and it looks consistent. It looks really great that these thumbnails are all there about each one of these different benefits, and you're kind of reinforcing it. And it doesn't have to be more than 15 or 30 seconds, but it's there, and it looks really cool. And it costs more because there's more editing, but it's very cost effective.
So you take like just each benefit and then
put it up there. Yeah. And you start talking about the benefit, or you could be talking about, you could break it into instructions, or you could be talking about the ingredients. But it's just something that's built into the initial script. And then you could just ask for editing, 15-second editing, or, play around with the video a bit and just make it into this related video, which you can upload 4 or 5 of them, and it takes up that whole space, which is great. Now it's all yours. You own it. Yeah.
Another added benefit too is, they say, every time you get somebody to click, you're exponentially closer to them actually making a purchase. Like just in their brain, so if you can get them to click on 3 or 4 of those videos, then they're that much more likely to make a purchase than if they just watched one longer format video. So
we talked about Amazon Live, but using videos, or even using cinemagraphs or plotographs, which is even easier, mm-hmm. but building or driving external traffic from Facebook or Instagram or wherever over to your Amazon post or your brand feeds page, or over to Amazon Live to get them to follow, because it's so critical now that you get the person to follow and tell them on the ad, to follow you.
Yeah.
And you want to build that community. That's with now Amazon allowing you to reach out to these followers. I think it's going to be a game changer.
Yeah, for sure. And like with cinemagraphs I think those are so underutilized, because again, I think it's just people don't really understand what they are, and cinematograph and plotograph, and for people that don't, so a cinemagraph is basically, say, an image like a photograph or you could do like a freeze frame, from your video, and everything in the image is frozen, just like a picture, but you can leave one section animated. So maybe, it's a model jumping through the air and she's like frozen in air, but like her hair is waving behind her, or something like that. And again, it just creates this irregularity where people are like, this something's, I got to look at this more because something doesn't register in my brain and it doesn't work. And then a plotograph is basically the inverse of a cinematograph, where basically they'll take a piece of animation and then they'll just something that's animated, and then they'll just freeze everything except for one section of it. So cinematograph, you would animate something that's not moving, and then a plotograph is something where you would freeze something that's moving but keep a little section of it.
Oh, they're so powerful.
Going. And those things are great. Another thing that people don't use are taking maybe, say, a section of your product video. So like if you do have a mailing list where you can reach out to people, take a section of your product video and make the video like an animated GIF or GIF.
Great idea.
Yeah, like nobody does that because it's such a huge pattern up, because people open up their emails and are like, well, wait, you can't put videos inside of an email. Like, how are they doing that? And it's moving. It might just be like a little looping, 5-second thing, with a play button. And then, basically you just put you just put a play button on there. And then when they click it, then it actually takes them to a page, whether it's your product page or, if, on e-com, if it's offsite or something like that. And like, I know how those work. And if I ever see them, like, I'll still click on them just because they're just like, I'm just like, I can't not click and see what's going on, kind of thing. So, but I'm the guy too, like when they're like, don't touch that cactus, like I immediately just reach out and touch it.
But it's a great idea. Especially we've been talking about email campaigns over the last month or two, and just being able to reach out. And I don't have the numbers on it, but I bet it would double the open rates.
Yeah, well, just actually, I don't know the statistics now, but I know like 4 or 5 years ago, there was a survey where just having the word video in the title of your email, like doubled your open rates, which is pretty crazy. So and you could do that ethically, where you put video in the title of your email, and then you put an animated GIF in there, and when they click on it, it actually sends them to a video. So that's that's kind of a cool thing too. And
okay, so just before we get any further, I just wanted to mention again that Rob is going to be doing a product video giveaway today. If you're interested in entering, it's hashtag Wheel of Kelsey. Rob, you've never seen the Wheel of Kelsey, I don't think.
No.
Okay,
no.
So Wheel of Kelsey, if you tag 2 people, you'll get a second entry. Also, we've got Marcia Reese over at Stay Well, and I Want to Stay Well, hashtag I Want to Stay Well, and you'll get one of her incredible products as well. Also, if you like what you're hearing, and this is the first time you've heard the podcast, please feel free to like us on Facebook, or hit that bell, or do that thing, subscribe, everything that Kelsey's supposed to do, but usually forgets to tell people. And we would love having you as part of our community. Okay, best practices, Rob. What are some of the best practices for creating videos that we could just or even action points that we could provide people who want to do their own video?
Yeah. So, and this would be kind of in relation to Amazon.
Yeah. Product video. We're going to get into repurposing in a second, but
yeah. So I would say, with Amazon, best practices, as I mentioned, is really kind of focus on the benefits of the product, what makes that product unique. And then Amazon, as I mentioned, are just hugely anti-hypey. I mean, they just, so no, don't make any kind of special offer or limited, time thing, or don't, disparage your competition. Basically kind of all the hardcore, direct response hustle stuff like that if they even just get a whiff of that, then it's gone. And that's why we tend to do the demo videos as opposed to spokesperson videos on there, just because, sometimes even a spokesperson video, it'll be completely within their terms, and they'll still reject it just because they were too perky or something, and so they're just like, no, this is hypey, and or just like, oh, gee, yeah. So for Amazon, the big don't is that, and the big do is just really, really, I would say, as opposed to you thinking about showing people how great your product is, and how, awesome, you are, really put yourself in the viewers, imagine yourself that you're the person watching this, and that this is a product you need, and make it about them. The cold hard fact is nobody, as far as marketing is concerned, nobody cares about you. Nobody cares about you, and nobody cares about your product. But what they do is they care about themselves, and they care about, like, how is this product going to make their life easier? How is this product going to, solve some pain that they may have? And when you really start focusing on that and speaking to them in their language like that, then those are the videos that really convert really well. The videos are like, hey, we're awesome, and we spent 10 years creating this. No, like, nobody cares. Nobody cares about what pain, how hard it took you to make this video, make this product, or how great your product is compared to everybody else, because nobody believes it, because it's you talking about you. That's where, like, say, the market review videos are really good, because you can ask people these questions, and then they'll say things about your product that you can't say about yourself, because it's a real person, that's off the street talking about you, as opposed to you talking about yourself. And so that's a workaround where then you can get into the heavy bragging type stuff, because then it's somebody else, then it's, the cave people standing around the fire making, recommendations on, where to find antelope and where to stay away from tigers and things like that. So that's how that, works out really well that way.
So I've seen your market review videos. I recommend them highly. I recommend them quite a bit. And, people might think it's just a testimonial, but it's not. It is a well thought out psychological attack, where people come up, like, look what you did for snow. You were there, like the people came up, and when I first started looking at, what I thought was just these testimonials, I went, wow, these people are all like, I'm going to buy this product, because they were highlighting in their own words exactly why snow is so great, or Life Boost, same thing. When you go to your site, and I'm not saying, if I didn't know that this was on your site, I wouldn't be saying this. Okay. I don't want to disclose your clients, but Life Boost is over there, and you just watch the same thing. And it's like, people are just, they're selling the product, and there's a formula behind it, because behind the scenes, people don't see that you're asking these 4 or 5 or 6, 10 different questions to bring out the answers in them. Yeah.
Life Boost is a good example, because we use that format of video to solve a couple problems, a couple obstacles they were up against. But because I guess in the kind of the coffee world, as far as like the elite, coffee snob type people, that which people just go way down the rabbit hole on some of the stuff they do, and but organic coffee is actually viewed as kind of a little bit weaker and not as flavorful as some of the commercially grown coffees. And so that was a bit of an obstacle they had, because their coffee is like single sourced, organic, from this one farm. And so they wanted to figure out a way, like, how do we let people know that, our coffee is different? It's not like that. It's like actually super robust, and it's got its own kind of unique flavor, and it's got like almost like a sweetness to it. And so when we set up outside of a farmer's market, and when people were going by, we're like, hey, you want to try some coffee? And then we just asked them these series of questions, but we would ask them questions around like, hey, so how does this compare to other organic coffee? Because, we know some organic coffee is kind of weak, but, what do you think about this one? And then they'd be like, oh, I love this. And, it's organic coffee, but, it tastes so much different than most organic coffees. And that's the part that we would say, play. And, and it's totally ethical, because, these are real people, and those are real statements. And and they really did like it. And so, but we would just use the part where they were answering the question, and then it turns into a statement.
So no Frankenbites.
Yeah, exactly.
Repurposing. Where can you repurpose the marketplace videos or the product videos, or how can people get more bang for their buck?
Yeah, and this is something too we'll do with agencies where we're shooting a lot of their videos, but especially like the product demonstration videos or some of the other videos where it's benefit based. Then you can take those same videos and then reformat them so to fit whatever social platform. So then you can take like benefit number one, like we were talking about, this tastes great for organic coffee. And then we can format that one little testimonial into, vertical, horizontal, and square formats, and run them as ads or run them as social content and things like that. And so that works out really well. And then also, some of the agencies will test out, maybe on a demo video where people aren't talking, but we can switch out benefit points that are related to it, or like CTAs and things like that. And so that way you get a much bigger bang for the buck for just one video. And because that's especially I would say on the end, where people are starting out, that they can't afford to spend, $600 is pretty cheap for a video, but they can't afford to spend $600 for 6 or 8 different video benefits to test out which ad's going to work better, kind of thing. So this is a way where you can take it and you just kind of micro test it, and even with social content, take that and repurpose it, and then spread it out and see what kind of reaction you get, because then you can make more content like that. So and I would say 80% of people that are starting out, the benefit point that they think people buy their product is usually not the benefit they usually just wind up like, I don't know, I thought it was, because of, X, and really it was Y is the reason that they would purchase their product. And so this is a great way to, kind of do little micro tests and kind of top of funnel stuff to figure out, exactly what it is it's causing people to take action. So.
Another app that we use, we love this app called repurpose.io. Have you ever used it?
Yeah. I actually had like a test account, and it's really cool because it does exactly what we're just talking about. And I think with repurpose.io too, you can actually schedule content to go out, right?
Yeah.
I don't think they schedule ads, but as far as just the social content, you can push it out, through their platform. So
all sorts of different platforms. It's fantastic. We've had Hanny Mora on one of the beginning podcasts, and anyways, Kelsey's taken that over, and we love it.
Yeah, and it's really evolved too. Like he's really, and that's just a super hard nut to crack. Like, how do you take that content and put it in a platform, and then be able to create all these different ways and still be able to manage all of the content. So that's, so I give him kudos for doing that, because that's definitely something that took us a while to figure out, as far as just managing, just that amount.
And it's not expensive. I mean, it's cheap. If you want to check it out, repurpose.io. That's our secret sauce. So I want to spin that over to you. What's your secret sauce? What is your number one secret sauce for creating videos that convert well?
Oh man,
I'll put you on the spot.
Yeah, the secret sauce for converting videos that work. It's a tough one, just because there's so many different kinds of videos with so many different kinds of purposes. I honestly think, just like I said, focus less on selling and focus more on being in the buyer's head. Like, I know that just sounds kind of boring and dumb, but if you do that, you're gonna make so much more money and save a ton of money that you waste on kind of just hypey buy my stuff junk, because I think nowadays it just sometimes just comes across desperate. So if you can put yourself in the buyer's mindset, when you create a video, then that's going to be exponential, kind of a hack. And it's surprising most people don't do that. So
No, especially at the beginning, they're talking about their product
because they're excited about it. In the
Yeah.
beginning, you're like, oh, this is awesome, and like you're drinking your own Kool-Aid, and it's really hard not to do that. So
the types of video formats that are working right now, and formats and also ratios. If you're out on Facebook, or if you're is it a 1:1, 16:9, or 4:3? What size is working right now?
So here's actually kind of a little hack. Is really any format that's allowable by that platform. They're not their standard platform. So for a while, and most people are actually doing it this format now, but like we would create an Instagram ad for somebody, and sometimes they would accidentally run it on Facebook. And an Instagram ad's going to be 1:1, so it's just going to be 1080 by 1080, like a square, and which looks a little weird when you run it on Facebook. But actually, those videos converted really super well on Facebook, even though most people were running the lateral format. And I think for a couple of reasons. I think it was a little bit of a pattern interrupt because everybody else are running these ads that look like this, and then all of a sudden you see this weird ad, and it just again, it's like kind of that fishing lure effect where it just catches their eye and then gets their attention, and then that's really the main thing you're trying to do for the first 5 seconds. So that works really well. And then I think the other thing is they look better on a cell phone at the time because most people hold their phones like that, not like that. So when they were looking at the ad, that it made more sense from a mobile perspective. And so a lot of times I would say doing the inverse format that everybody else is doing on whatever social platform, if you're running ads, works pretty well. And that's something just to kind of play around with, because every social platform has kind of a different audience and a different demographic, and they react differently to different things. So.
Okay, we're going to get into the questions in a second, but I've seen a video that you did, I think it was last year, where it was the pillow company you were working with. I forget who it was, but you made what I thought would have been a perfect infomercial.
Yeah.
It was fantastic.
Yeah.
And this is another. What I'm saying a lot of today is I just caught myself, and I said about 1,000 times during this podcast. Anyway,
hopefully I'm not. That's my word.
But this is another way of driving external traffic. You could drive traffic over to a landing page that has this incredible infomercial or just a different type of video, and then drive it over to your Amazon listing. Just another way of driving external traffic. I think it's it's just something different that people aren't doing. More expensive, right? But just something different.
Yeah, I think those are great too. Kind of how we talked about where we really started testing, benefit points where people, trying to find out why people are buying your product. So I think doing that first, and then really knowing, the reasons people buy your product. And then that's when you can kind of go into those bigger formats, where, that one we built sets, and, we actually shot it in a movie studio, and, had a bunch of actors.
Much higher budget.
Yeah, it's a bigger budget. So really find out, get your numbers and find out your demographic and find out the reasons they buy and who they are. And so that way, when you do that larger production, and those are, like the poo-pourris and the squatty potties, and I'd say for every one of those, there's probably 100 where they spent big budget stuff and it just tanked because they just didn't know their audience. They were speaking to themselves and not to their audience, and what they thought was cool. So, even on some of that stuff where we're doing it, it's really kind of this comedic video, but every little thing is really kind of based on some factor that causes, that particular that's interesting, to that particular audience. So.
I just thought you were talking about organic coffee a little earlier, and you started being very specific about a few things. How much information does the client have to bring to you so your team understands how to put everything together in production? Like, is it a long learning process?
I mean, we do have, onboarding, like the more information, the better. So, it's a good idea to know your avatar. Who is your ideal customer, and kind of like, is it Linda who's age 57, who works at home and was recently divorced, has 2 kids and has 1 grandkid, and likes to run ultra marathons, or something like that. So like the more you know about that person, then the more we're able to speak to that person and speak in their language. So 57-year-old Linda that runs ultra marathons may not really be interested in seeing a video that features MMA fighters or something like that. So, or an 89-year-old grandma is not going to really want something where they're talking about lowrider rims, or whatever kind of thing. So the more that we can learn about that particular demographic, then the more we're able to kind of, and our videos are, especially with the demo video, they're overly simplistic, but we're really taking a lot of information and we're really trying to condense it down to the essence of what that product is about. And so even though they look really simple, we do get a lot of, we get as much information as you can supply. And then, some people, they just give us the benefit points, and then we just kind of figure it out from there, because, you can kind of extract a lot of information from the benefit points on probably who's going to be, buying that product.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Okay. So Kelsey, I think it's time for questions.
That's right.
And before, again, just if you're interested in winning a product video by Rob, hashtag Wheel of Kelsey or tag 2 people.
Okay, so we had a lot of questions come in. I'm just trying to find. Okay. So I believe you guys might have touched on this already, but do you create videos in a form of a testimonial? This is from Faye.
Yeah. Like I said, we won't do where if somebody says like, hey, I just want to hire one of your actors and do a testimonial. Like, we won't do that, just because, one, it's not ethical, in our perspective. And 2, it just won't work. Like, people just in 1 second, people are like, that's fake, and then you're going to do more damage to yourself, then. So, but we will either, like I said, like the market review style, where we'll go out and ask people, questions, and then they give their feedback, and, as a testimonial style, or also will, if you have testimonials, then we have kind of this platform where you can actually, send us, different, your media is like B-roll or testimonials or images, and you can tell us where in the video to insert that. And that's another thing people don't do. Just putting testimonials on the tail end of your video, really does help increase conversions. I mean, and just people, I don't know why they don't do it. So, you have your whole product video, and if they're still in the video and they still want to watch more, why not have, just kind of, dovetail that with a bunch of people that have actually used your product that want to talk about it great. And that just might be the tipping point why they make that purchase. So
that's a good point. I've not done that.
Yeah.
I got to take a look at it. There we go.
All right, from Tony, what is a good paid site for stock video? Artgrid.io,
I think is probably one that we use a lot, because it's really, really good. It's cinema quality, and it's not kind of clip arty looking stuff. So we use that quite a bit.
Artgrid.
Yeah. Not a lot of people know about it, but I think it's like $300 a year, but it's just really, really good stuff. I mean, it's amazing.
That's $300 straight, or do you have to pay on top of that?
No, it's just straight. Like, they don't have any kind of extra, extra stuff like that. It's just you just download the videos for unlimited use, I believe. So, and then you also have another site called artlist.io, and for music, and like their music's so good that they actually have like these artists that'll have like whole albums on there, and like we just listen to it in the studio sometimes because like it's really that good, and it's just not not the usual cheesy stuff. So that's another good recommendation.
Awesome. Okay, this one is from Faye. I got really stuck with the script. I'm always unsure of the text itself. Any advice?
I'm not sure specifically how I would answer that. Like unsure of the text itself. So, I don't know. Can you understand what they mean by that?
Yeah, just probably about writing the script.
Yeah. So, I mean, if you're writing it, I would probably, recommend some maybe some copywriting fundamentals, maybe like, Gary Halpert or, who's that? Who's another good copywriter that writes good stuff?
There are, I mean, the other thing that you could do too is you could go to a free up service or something like that and find a good copywriter. Or yeah, you could go, even digital marketers got courses, all sorts of courses on copywriting, but there's a lot of different places where you can go and check out copywriting.
And the kind of the basic, basic, is just, what is the product?
Yeah.
Why do you want it, and how do you get it? Kind of thing. And so, if you can do that, and again, don't write it as a salesy thing, but write it in the viewer's perspective. Then, I would say that's if you focus on those three things and just, first you can just start off just writing bullet points, for each one of those three sections, and then and then after that, expound on those. And then pretty soon, like you actually have, a story or an ad. So that's
Victor said John Carlton.
Yeah, John Carlton there. So,
yeah.
Brain farting, stupid dispensaries. So.
Great. So from Dr. Cause, hey Rob, I've been using videos for question responses in real life videos. Takes up good real estate on the page, builds brand authority, and if I see many positive. What's your opinion? Yeah,
highly underutilized. There's I was listening to somebody on a podcast, and they just call it like little micro movies, and like they'll actually reach out to people on text and do that too, and like they'll just say hey, and they'll do like a little video and talk to them, and say their name. So maybe like your top 100 clients, or if you have a whale type thing, then you can do that and send it to them. But yeah, I think that's another thing a lot of people don't use, and it's your ROI is just going to be huge. So
what is this? I'm lost here.
I
can't read the question.
Well, one is like, so if somebody's like sending you a question, like, hey, maybe, yeah. So maybe it's really like in the real estate field. So maybe they're like, hey, how many bedrooms does this house have? Or, I saw in the picture, like there's a pink wall. What's up with that or something? So then you could go back and you could respond back to them.
Within the FAQ.
Video. Yeah. Use a video as a response.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or, you can just reach out to maybe you have like some larger clients that are kind of stale. So you could actually just do like a little cell phone video text, and just reach out to them like, hey, Dave, it's been a while. So we were just checking in on you. And, we wanted to, let you know that, we're going to give you a free whatchamacallit just for, just because you've been such a great customer or something like that. Yeah. Just kind of things. And those work out really, really well. So
I get it now.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Let's see. Just a second.
Or in FAQs, using videos for FAQs. That's another. Yeah.
Yeah, those are really big on TikTok. A lot of companies will just answer people's comments and make videos about them sharing their
Why aren't we doing that, Kels? Why?
Do we have a product? I guess our mugs, we can talk about our mugs. From Jessica Rabbit, how do you distinguish between copywriting and content marketing for text? And what's your thought process for coordinating a campaign of text and video?
For coordinating a campaign, text and video. So essentially, I think you're talking about actually writing something where there's somebody speaking versus having like a demo video where it's just like text-based type stuff. So if that's the case, I would say, with the product demonstration video, and just figure out what are your 6 biggest, USPs. What are the things that make your product different? What are the things that are going to solve somebody else's pain? So you can actually even talk about a pain point in there. Maybe it's like a lotion and it helps eliminate scaly skin or something like that. So I would say maybe that, the top, 4 to 6 things problems that are going to make somebody else's life easier or make them look better or things like that. Then those are the things that you want to focus on your bullet points. And it's just 6 bullet points. That's it. Like a one or two, small sentences per I'd say probably 1 small sentence per benefit. And then, with the regular copywriting, so that would just, kind of fall into the regular direct response copywriting type stuff. So that, and again, that's where we had just, I think somebody else asked kind of a similar question where you just want to focus on, who are you, what do you have for me, and how do I get it? That would be kind of just the really drilled down basic, type stuff for a short, video with somebody talking. And then take those 3 things and then, twist them around so that it's more like, how can we help you? What's in it for the client, and then how does it, how can you get it, kind of thing. So
one of the other things that you could do too with your content marketing is that you, as you create that video, throw it over on Facebook and throw it into a blog article, and then people will stop and look at the video, and it could be a very short video or it could be a more detailed video. But if you're talking about, 5 things that boom, 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 the video could be about that. So people will check it out. You can also just optimize your YouTube video. So that's automatically going to be searchable and ranked. Your article is going to be searchable and ranked, as long as it's a good quality article, and people are going to stay on the page a lot longer.
Yeah, and you can make those into promoted ads. I'd say those are some of the best converting, where you take that and put it on. It has to be a business page and not a personal page. But then, maybe in your description you say, to find out more, go here, kind of thing, and then make that into a promoted ad, with the video and the article, and those are great because you're giving people value in advance, and so that that makes a difference too. So that helps with the trust factor. So, and it also lets them know what you're talking about.
Okay, great. We still have quite a few questions, so I'm not sure if you're still good for time, Rob. But
yeah, sure.
Yeah. Okay, great. So from Tony, do you feel Amazon Live is catching on?
I think the interest is, I think it's still really kind of their infancy stages. I think Amazon's still really trying to figure out, what it's going to be. But I think it's definitely going to happen, and it's definitely going to be a big deal. Like once people kind of crack that nut and figure out, how to get a real good ROI on it. And I think probably it's people that do have audiences already, like Lunch with Norm, so you have this big audience, so, you could probably steer them to like an Amazon Live or something, or, maybe you have a sponsor or something, they're doing an Amazon Live and you can steer it to them, kind of deal. So I think people that have tribes and they do it because definitely it's based on engagement. The Amazon Lives that don't have much engagement, don't really rise to the top, whereas the ones that do have traction, so, maybe driving ads to that Amazon Live time, and, and then, sending people kind of thing, then you want it's kind of like, you know, doing a YouTube channel where you really want a good initial bump, you know, on a video, and then it kind of organically just takes off. And so I think that's probably how that's going to start working. And it's probably I think there's going to probably be whole agencies that do that kind of stuff. So
Yeah, I think so too. And you're starting to see the rise of the Amazon Live influencers, right?
yeah,
So
exactly. So
I don't know why it hasn't caught on quicker. You know, we were talking about this a year ago, and you know,
I think a lot of people just don't even know it's around. Like they don't, like Amazon, that's the thing. Amazon just throws up stuff and it's like this like enterprise level something, and like nobody even knows it exists. And I think that's probably the big thing, is like people just don't know Amazon Live's around. So
yeah,
and they probably do that really just because that way they can experiment more with it without, you know, having just, you know, if they had everybody that knew Amazon Live was there and it just wasn't really kind of, you know, still in its infancy, I think a lot of people would drop out. So
have you heard of Google Shop Loop?
what is it?
Google Shop Loop?
No, what's that?
It's like Amazon Live for Google.
Oh,
Nobody's using it.
another thing. Yeah. So
Yeah, so it's like your own home shopping network.
sometimes those things are great too, because it's like you don't need everybody in the world, and like and if you're kind of the big fish in that small pond, you know, especially when you're just starting out, like you could get a lot of market share and
Absolutely.
and probably get a lot of business too.
Yeah.
Okay. For Marcia, are you adding closed captioning to the bottom of all your videos?
Yeah, we prefer to do that, and we ask if, you know, it's really up to the client, but if it was, you know, up to us, we would say, yeah, do that, because, you know, videos, say you're running as a Facebook ad or something, and you know, it's just auto playing, but they don't have any sound. So a lot of times just having that closed captioning will just catch somebody's attention, and they start reading, and then they become engaged and they click on it so they can hear what's going on. So, you know, a lot of people work with their sound off on their computers too.
Mm-hmm.
So just so something doesn't pop up and make a bunch of noise.
Okay. From Faye, do you provide access to models for your videos, if that is a service you offer?
We do, yeah. So as I mentioned, we have kind of this custom dash, and when you, if you buy, you know, say a spokesperson video, or you want to add a spokesperson to your video, then there's like a drop-down menu, and it's got like 20 or 30 different actors, and it's got like a little 15-second videos, you know, hey, I'm Dave with Video Telepathy, and so that way you can kind of match your actor to the or model to the demographic. And then if there's people that don't fit, you know, that are there but you're still looking for maybe somebody that's a little bit different, like maybe a particular kind of fitness model or something like that, or then we can actually do casting calls, and we'll call people in too. So.
From Jessica Rabbit, I'm looking to perhaps market a product, but two competitors have great videos. Should I stay out of that niche, or is there a way to make fresh videos to distinguish myself and my product?
Yeah, well, I mean, there's always going to be competition. I mean, if you go into a niche and you're the only one, and it starts to perform, then you're going to have competitors, you know, come
Very
up too.
quickly.
So, I would probably say if they have really good videos and you don't, then probably they're gonna sell more just because of that. So, yeah, I would say probably having a good video is going to make the difference for sure. So.
Okay. And just to clarify with Dr. Kaz about the in real life videos, he was talking about on Amazon question in listings.
Amazon question in listings. Oh, okay. So you reply, you know, so if somebody asks a question in listings, you reply with the video. Yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah. Because that's the thing too, like you'll see that like questions and listings, and like people ask all these questions, and like half the time like people don't even reply at all. And like when I look at that, like I go, well, these people, they just want to sell you stuff. They don't really, you know, care. So if you go that extra step, then that's awesome. So yeah.
Okay. And then I think this is the last question, but for Marcia, do you have any experience using animals in your product videos?
I do. Actually, if you go to videotubby.com, our work, like our very first video that we sample right there is actually a little mini commercial we shot for a product called Wolf Wells, which is like, it's a breed specific dog supplement. And like the first one was for like French bulldogs. So we have like these two French bulldogs, like going for a walk, you know, talking in French accents and insulting a Shetland collie. So.
Awesome, yes. And Jessica was saying they need like closed captions also in USA to comply with the Title III of ADA too.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, and I think that's it. I think we answered all of them.
Okay, fantastic. All right. So I think that, Rob, you're done.
Hey,
An
that was
hour
fun. That was
15.
quick.
There we go.
Yeah. We can go another 2 hours.
That'll be the next one.
Sure.
Okay, so why don't we do this? Why don't we just head over to the Wheel of Kelsey?
All right, Rob, get ready. Here we go.
It's time for the Wheel of Kelsey.
There we go.
That is awesome. I want a Wheel of Kelsey.
Where is the wheel, Kels?
Oh, just a second. We had some new entries.
Oh, okay.
So just give me a few seconds to add them in. And
this is where there's awkward silence. By the way, when we talk about secret sauce, Rob is this hot sauce connoisseur. And I think you made some private hot sauce or something, I think the last time I went to San Diego. And that was awesome. I mean, that was some of the best hot sauce I've ever had. So that's what you should be giving out.
Hot sauce. Well, I was doing that for a while. I was actually back in the world when people, actually had like speaking things, I would give that, in the swag bag, I would give like a bottle of hot sauce instead, as a business card instead of a USB card or something. So.
That's awesome.
Oh,
okay. So this is, we got tons of entries today. So this is for the video demonstration. If you are the winner, please contact me at k@lunchwithnorm.com and I'll connect you with Rob. And here we go. 3, 2, 1.
Round and round it goes. Who's gonna win? I can't even see. It's just a blur to me.
Faye is the winner.
All right, Faye.
So congratulations, Faye.
Hey,
And then we have one more wheel for the stable copper. Screen. Names. Okay, so this was donated by Marcia for stable copper, and we'll shuffle them up. So this is every Monday for the next couple of weeks. We're doing this.
Okay.
All right, Mark.
Mr. Mark gets it.
All right, congratulations.
And like what Rob was saying, is if you go over to his website, everybody that's listening to the call will also get a 10% discount. Is there some code that they have to put in or something?
Yeah, I'll probably I'll jump in and do it right after this call. But let's.
Okay.
You just want to do lunch with Norm as a coupon code?
That sounds good.
Yeah, let's do that. Cool.
All right.
Okay.
So lunch with Norm, you save 10%, and check out Rob's work on his site. He does great work. Rob, any parting words?
No, I think we said it all.
Okay.
We've mastered the universe. So.
Well, thank you very much for coming on again. I always love having you on. We'll probably have you on in the next couple of months again to go over more interesting video techniques.
Cool.
All right,
Awesome.
sir. We'll
Thanks,
talk
guys.
to you soon. Okay, so that's the end of this podcast. I hope everybody liked what we were talking about. I didn't cough too much. At least I was able to hit the mute button. I don't think I coughed in your ear, Kels.
No coughing in the ear, which is always
Very good.
Good podcast.
You know who we have on Wednesday, right?
We do. We've missed her greatly,
I know.
but she is back. She's back. Cassandra Craven.
Yes. So
We've been
Cassandra,
Craven.
Craven. Yep. She is back on Wednesday. We're going to be talking about new social media techniques to help out with your product listings. Absolutely awesome. I love talking to her. I laugh more than I talk during our podcast. Yeah.
Our topic is capturing social content during live events. So people are going out to all these new live events now, and we're going. Yeah.
Okay, so join us on Wednesday, and if you know anybody who'd love to hear more about Cassandra and what she has to talk about, tag them, get them into this podcast. It's going to be a good one. So once again, a big thank you to our sponsor, Global Wired Advisor, a leading digital investment bank focused on optimizing business sales process. For more information, please visit globalwiredadvisors.com. Kels, anything else, sir?
All right, smash those like buttons if you haven't already.
You're doing your job. Thank you. You're
that's
doing your
right.
job.
Those
What's
big bucks.
Man, I'm going to go buy a lottery ticket.
And also join our Facebook group, Lunch with Norm, Amazon, FBA, and eCommerce Collective. That is our main group. That is where our community is. All the good stuff is there, so you can just search that on Facebook. As well, head over to our YouTube channel if you're looking for highlights or if you missed any part of today's episode. All of the videos are over there. As well, we have a resource page on our Lunch with Norm website now with some discounts from some guests, so you can go over there. This 10% code will be added as well over there as well. And if you're looking for our Patreon, you can find the membership links over there where you can join. Check it out. You can buy us a cup of coffee if you'd like, or you can go and join our Platinum membership where all the goodies are, the discounts, the guest lessons, the hot seats, all that stuff. So yeah, I think that's it for me on my end.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So thank you for joining us today. Join us every Monday, Wednesday, Friday at noon Eastern Standard Time. Once again, thank you for being part of the community. Thanks for watching. Enjoy the rest of your day.
Lunch with